Good evening and welcome to the Eatel High School football game of the week. Jeff Porsche, and I'll be joined by Coach David Swacker in just a few minutes. We are at Griffin Field for the season opener for Dutchtown High School. The Dutchtown Griffins playing their first game tonight against the Evangel Christian Academy Eagles, who are 0-1 on the season. But before we get to the action and the discussion about the game, we're going to have an interview as Tracy Leindecker will be speaking to a pretty important person from the Ascension Parish government. So we're going to take it to her, and let's hear what he has to say.
Well, thank you so much. I'm up here with Ron Savoy, who is with the Parish of Ascension, and we were visiting. First of all, thanks for coming out. We know how crazy it is right now with Hurricane Ida. But speak to us a little bit about the involvement, the role that parish government is playing during catastrophic events, before the storm, during the storm, and then after the storm.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for the opportunity to get out to the public kind of the perspective of what parish government does in these catastrophic events such as Ida or a flood or any other event that might come to the parish. So starting out like 48 hours prior to landfall of this event in particular, we started off with giving sandbags out to the residents at Lamar Dixon and various places within the parish, and trying to get them to take precaution because initially this was going to be a rainmaker. 10 to 15 to even 20 inches of rain was projected. So we went off early on and really put that out and got that out to the residents. They did a good job, the employees and the residents, getting that coordinated. And then after that, we really looked at our infrastructure for our pumping stations. We have 3 major pumping stations in the parish: Marvin Bro, Sorrento Pumping Station, and Henderson Bayou Pumping Station. We also have a floodgate. All of those major infrastructures were enacted, 48, 24 hours prior to landfall. And our parish president, Quentin Maughan, was really aggressive in giving orders to get those waters drawn down in all of our lakes and bayous and streams. We created a lot of capacity to store water. And that was our approach going into the storm, is getting everything prepared, getting all of our heavy equipment and everything to high ground, and securing all items around all of our buildings and parish government. And that was it going into it, and then everything was like the calm before the storm. And we did everything we could up to that point of projected landfall. And then Sunday morning came in, and I guess the biggest thing then was manning this infrastructure. Employees making sacrifices, going out in the eye of the storm. We manned Marvin Bro, Sorrento, and Henderson from Sunday morning on through that event. And those guys and girls rode that storm out in those pumping stations and ran the infrastructure through the night. A lot of people didn't realize it, but through the night, we really got hit with 8 to 10 inches of rain. And so they did an excellent job of getting that taken care of, because the brunt of the storm, obviously we have wind damage and trees. Last thing we wanted was a flood on top of that. And so they did a great job of taking care of that and doing that for our residents. So that was up to during the storm, and then daylight hits. We had people staged at DPW and the Sheriff's Office and Office of Emergency Preparedness all had people staged for daylight to assess the situation and start focusing on getting roads open. So daylight hits and we merged from pumping event to clearing roads, and that's what we really got up, and we did a great job in a unified effort there, and had all the major highways and thoroughfares open for the traffic. Within 24 to 36 hours, we had it pretty much where the whole parish could get out and get mobilized and get to these fueling stations for all the generators, powers and things. So sure. That was lost. So that was pretty much right after the storm and what we did. And then post-storm, it was a lot of concerns about fuel and challenges with that, getting fuel in. We ran the pumping stations really hard, so we got low on fuel. We ran fuel out we have a pumping station at DPW. We got low there. It was a challenge with that and a lot of concern. But every day got a little better, and we just stuck with it and got a lot of things in place. And we ran fuel to these generators all around the parish. Everything went down. So Lamar Dixon was up, and we merged from clearing roads to assisting to the shelters and anything and other governmental agencies needed. So the school board reached out. We helped them with a little bit of fueling situations. We had some generators needs at Lamar Dixon, the jail, all the parish properties, and Prevost Hospital in Donsonville, round the clock, supplied fuel and generator needs. So that's pretty much, pre, during, and post, and we're still at it today.
Well, and you talked a little bit about the sacrifice and all the stuff that your team and a lot of the parish officials just stepped in, and they sacrificed kind of their property so that they can come take care of all of ours. Absolutely.
We had a few people or employees that really stood out. Regina Thomas, she lost her home, and she's a director on the West Ascension side, and never missed a beat. She took care of her family, and she never left post right through the storm and just kept working, and we all pulled together as a team, and that shows great leadership skills there. Another employee that I really want to highlight is Brian Malonso. He's a supervisor. Rode the storm out at Marvin Bro Pumping Station, and his wife was at home, and a tree fell on their home, and his wife was in the home, and he's out here serving the public. So that's a grave sacrifice that these employees make, and they get out there and do what we have to do for these residents of the parish. And, they have to pre-plan and have emergency plans in place at home in addition to what they do for this parish. And they did a great job of that, and their neighbors came back and to the aid of that spouse, and great job on all of them's part.
Well, thank you so much. And, yeah, there's so many stories we're going to hear for a while now of all the heroes that helped out. Ron, again, thank you so much for everything that you guys have done, and we appreciate you coming and visit with us. Guys, we're going to send it back to you.
So thank you, Tracy, for the interview, and thank you to the Ascension Parish government for stopping by and giving us that important information. We're going to take a break right now and then get to the action as the Dutchtown Griffins take the field. We'll see them come in, and then we'll take a break. You are watching the Eatel High School Football Game of the Week.
Welcome back. We've missed you. We know it's been tough. Because rebuilding your business isn't for the faint of heart. Your business needs a jump start. And we're here to help. Introducing Surge, symmetrical speed fiber internet from Eatel Business. Revved up data speeds at 30% off, plus 3 months free. We're glad you're back, and we're here to make your business surge.
Dr. Brian Hollis is Ascension Parish's orthodontist. Dr. Hollis has an excellent reputation for bringing state-of-the-art technology and the highest standard of patient care to Ascension. He attended LSU Dental School, and he completed a residency to become a board-certified specialist in orthodontics. An avid supporter in our community, Dr. Hollis is married to Celeste Pyron Hollis, and they have 4 children. Dr. Hollis, Ascension Parish's orthodontist. Grow up smiling with Hollis Orthodontics.
It's game day. A day that should be spent in the living room, not the kitchen. So next game, you just worry about the score, because we've got the food covered. With hand-battered, cooked-to-order, always fresh, never ever frozen chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, crispy crinkle-cut fries, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
The Title Law Firm has been fighting for our clients to get their best recovery for over 20 years. And now that tradition will continue to the next generation.
Hi, I'm Rick Tata, the newest member of the Title Law Firm.
We understand that it can be frustrating dealing with your claim.
So we're here to help you get what you deserve. If you're seriously injured in an accident, call the Title Law Firm today.
We're not just a face on an ad.
Call 756-0007 when you're injured. You gotta call Title.
And back to the Eatel High School Football Game of the Week. Jeff Porsche and Coach Swack. Evangel versus Dutchtown. You hear Sheely Bell and the Dutchtown sound with the alma mater right there, and she's going to follow this up with the national anthem. Dutchtown Sound with the national anthem, and we'll get to the captains and the coin toss in just a moment. I'm joined now by Coach Swack, and Dutchtown able to bring in one of the big names in Louisiana high school football history, Evangel Christian, into town. And when you hear the name, you think of state championships, Josh Booty, Abram Booty, Brock Berlin, all the big names that have come through this school. But it's not quite the same type of program anymore there at Evangel, correct?
Well, there's no doubt about that, Jeff. I mean, you look over there and you see, basically half or maybe a third of what Dutchtown has on the sideline. And, they're going through some tough times up there in North Louisiana. I don't understand the philosophy of playing in 4A. Back in the day, when they were so good and beating a lot of good teams, much bigger than them, namely the West Monroe teams and stuff like this, they were in Class A and maybe in Double A, and then they made that big jump into 5A and basically cost Don Shows and West Monroe probably about 4 or 5 state championships. They're in 4A, maybe there's a rhyme or reason to that, because I know when we did reclassification, they only had between 250 and 300 kids in school. And you look at Dutchtown, they probably have 2,500 or more. And so talking to the coach next door that's up here, Denny Duran has taken over he owns the church, or is the preacher at the church where Evangel's located, and he has taken back over the team. Duran was a big-time quarterback at Louisiana Tech back in the Bradshaw days, somewhere around that time, and is a outstanding football coach. And so he's taken over the team, and the guy next door says, I know we've lost a lot of games in recent years. We have a lot of young kids, a lot of good kids, but we're back headed in this direction.
You can see on the screen the record for Coach Mastretta, but as you said, he's kind of taken over again, and don't have his career record, but he's got quite a reputation.
Yes, and let me tell you, they're located in Shreveport on the western, the I-20 side of closer to Texas side of Shreveport. And there's a lot of kids in Shreveport. There are a lot of kids in the Shreveport-Bossier area. And, basically what it comes down to is, they're going to have to get some kids in there, and they got to get restarted. And I would not think that would be at 4A level.
Right. But they are playing at that now. They may change that later on in the next reclassification. But we're just about ready for the opening kickoffs. The captains for Dutchtown, you may have missed Tanner Vadney, number 10, Dylan Sampson, number 21, and Will DeLone, number 53. And we're ready for the opening kickoff. And you have Baylor Langlois, number 7, and Dylan Sampson, number 21, back deep to receive. No surprise right there. The Evangel Christian Eagles, their captains were number 28, DJ Harris, number 16, Ricky Wiggins.
And you notice right there is something that I just love to watch, kids that are coached up. Evangel's in a huddle for the kickoff, and Dutchtown gets closer just in case.
Exactly. And it's a deep kick, and Sampson's going to take it at the 12, loses it for a second. And there's a big hole up the middle, and a nice tackle there, a nice shoestring tackle by number 11, and Jacob Wilson.
And Sampson says, if I wouldn't have dropped that ball, I would have scored.
Absolutely. He had a huge hole, but you see that nice shoestring tackle right there, and that might have saved 6 points.
After watching last night's special teams, Coach, did you see where Sampson was lined up?
Mm-hmm.
He's lined up on the 15-yard line all the way. If the ball's kicked across the field, there's no one over there. I mean, they know exactly where he's going to kick it.
Right.
Sampson was right there.
Exactly.
I mean, I just love to see that knowledgeable football with the players out there.
Absolutely. And Dutchtown will take it 1st and 10 from the 29, and we have a whistle right away.
Well, Dutchtown,
Delay a game.
They have they have a tight end in the game, so basically, and then you see Sampson was located on the left side. I don't know if he's going to be there now, but I would have thought that would be they were missing a player.
Possibly. So on 1st down, Pyron gives it right up the middle to Sampson, and he gets 10 yards. Hard running and carries the line. There's a flag on the ground, but the official saying just fell out. So no penalty.
And look at the hole back here to this side right here. I'm sure that's going to, when they get on the sideline and they can go through all that video stuff, and Sampson sees that, he's going to keep those eyes focused with a wide vision right there for the easy cutback.
Right. We'll get to the offensive starters for Dutchtown after this play from the shotgun. And the quarterback gives it to Sampson. So he gets about 4. He's going to be about a yard shy of the 1st down. Let's take a look at the offensive starters for Dutchtown. Pearson Pyron is the quarterback, number 3. And then you have, of course, Dylan Sampson, Bayer Langwa also in the backfield. Got tight end Caleb Ickes, and then the receivers, Leaf Watkins, Jordan Gloston, A.K. Burrell. Then on the line, you got DeLone, Kibido, Harms, Jones, and Fields.
I think DeLone, a 2-year starter now. Started last year as a 10th grader.
Yes, and he's also a starter on the baseball team as well, as Dylan Sampson goes right up the middle past midfield. Big gain, no flag, 1st down Griffins. So nothing fancy here. They're just going right up the gut, and Dylan Sampson's getting big chunks of yardage. 4 receivers, 2 left, 2 right, and now a flag comes down. So they're going to say that there was some movement on the offensive line there when they stepped up and looked at the offensive coaches. Coach Guy Mastretta there on the sideline.
Well, you got a number of things when that umpire throws that flag. Sometimes it's at center, makes a little quick movement with the ball.
Right. There's lots of things, as you said. See Bayer Langwa in the game. He's set up in a slot. He's the backup running back to Dylan Sampson. Sampson, that deep eye, about 7 yards downfield. And he's running downhill right up the middle, gets the penalty yardage back and maybe an extra yard, about 6 on the play.
This is what I see in my watching of Sampson over the years coming and doing these games. You see him hitting the hole pretty hard. We got pretty good offensive line blocking. Sometimes they have that sniffer back in there. Mm-hmm. That's another pull guy. There he is, big 88 right there. And, it's just a matter of time. When you break through that front 6 or 7 right here, he'll be gone. It's just a matter of time.
2nd down, and now they're going to try the right tackle and dives ahead close to another 1st down, another 5 or 6 yards on the play. And so they're getting 5, 6, 10 yards a pop. So good yardage, good job by the offensive line. It's going to bring up 3rd down. They're going to say actually maybe his knee hit the ground about the 44. So it's going to, let's call that 3 actually. So it's going to be 3rd and long here for the Griffins.
The offensive coordinator moved up to assistant principal.
Yes, McCready is now the assistant principal. Now Coach Janis is the offensive coordinator. As you have the little pitch to Langwa on the jet sweep, and he's close. He's going to be right at the marker. I think where they're marking it, it is right on it, and it's just enough for the 1st down. Got it by about a foot. So Langwa gets his first action of the season, and it's a 1st down for the Griffins, and the drive keeps moving with 8:56 left to go in the 1st quarter. No score, Dutchtown Evangel.
Only 1 penalty so far.
Pretty clean play so far. That's a lot different than we saw last night.
I think one side had
about 20-something penalties.
Yeah, 24.
That's insane. Yeah. I don't think we're going to get 24 combined here tonight.
No, I don't think we're going to get 10 tonight.
That was about a 3-hour game last night. I expect this one to be closer to that 2-hour mark. especially if Dutchtown keeps it on the ground like they are right
and
now.
I know this is a broadcast. There's no doubt about that. But the Santa Maria Gators are coming in here tomorrow night at 6 against Walker. So 3 pretty good, 6 pretty good teams. I know people are saying the Evangel thing it's not going to be real strong, but I think whenever you're looking for an opponent, you would like to get somebody that.
They're now saying it's 4th and 1, by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, well, okay.
They are reviewing, they apparently they reviewed and talked about it, and now they say that he's about a foot short, so it's 4th and 1. Pyron gets that right very easily. Just leads ahead up to the 35.
And, I like that where now you can legally give assistance to that quarterback on those sneaks.
You had about 3 bush pushes coming from behind right there. So, as you were saying, there's lots of great action here, and it's nice. You could get an opportunity to see 3 high school games where you usually just see one because they always play at the same time on Friday night. So on first down, it's a quarterback keeper, and he's got room to the 25, to the 21 before he's tackled by number 19 for Evangel. Don't have that name and number on our roster.
And I'm going to just tell you, nice little fake there.
Good job. They all went with Sampson on the right side, and Pyron kept it and fooled him. 1st and 10. Ball at the 23-yard line.
So Sampson can be valuable for you in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. Sampson has already committed to play at the University of Tennessee. So he's a heck of a player. Pass complete to Langlois. And he gets about 5. So keeps on moving downfield inside the red zone now for the Griffins for the first time.
Well, that's the first pass we've had tonight.
So it's going to bring up 2nd and 5. I believe the marker says 3rd down, but it should be 2nd and 5. A little discussion here.
Well,
Not quite sure what's going on.
The head linesman goes over there
and now it's changed to 2nd down.
Relays the message there. That's his job, is to keep up, make sure that you have the right down.
So this series now 4 minutes and change already as Sampson tries it up the middle. And that time he's wrestled back after about a 2-yard gain. So Evangel answers for the first time, holding him to about a couple of yards. So a little fight in him right there as you see him wrestled down by number 28, DJ Harris. He was one of the captains.
And
for
big 77, boy, I see him doing an excellent job. Ethan Fields on the blocking.
Yes. 3rd and 4 for the Griffins. And up the middle, and that's going to be near a first down again. It may be 4th and short. Sampson on the carry. It's going to be 4th and 1 as they get down to the 13.
So Jeff, you run a quarterback sneak again? Because they picked up about 4 last time.
Well, you've got positive yardage on every play with Sampson. I think he's going to get the ball right here. They're going to talk to the coaches with 6:50 left to go here.
And you have, what is it, Hicks?
And there's Sampson right up the middle and a touchdown. And the Dutchtown Griffins draw first blood with 6:37 left to go in the first quarter. Just hard running right up the middle. 13-yard touchdown for number 21. Just a lot of yardage right up the middle. They're just coming right at them and telling them to stop our offensive power, and they cannot do it. And now the extra point comes from Jacob Etter. Winfield will hold, and it's good. So it's 7-0. Dutchtown with the opening drive touchdown, a 5.5-minute drive. We'll take a break. Our score 7-0 Dutchtown. You're watching the Eatel High School Football Game of the Week.
Introducing outage text alerts from Eatel. Sign up is quick, free, and easy. Stay informed, receive updates, and get emergency messages. Plus, our outage text alerts will notify you when there is a service disruption in your area. Sign up in 3 easy steps. Just log into your account, go to account settings, and select text notifications. It's that simple. So, sign up today at myaccount.eatel.com.
Impressive 5-minute, 23-second drive for the Griffins, capped by the 13-yard touchdown run by Dylan Sampson. And Dutchtown has a 7-0 lead. Jeff Porsche, David Swacker out here at Griffin Field for the second night in a row. And the Ascension Parish team has the lead for the first time here on the weekend. So now to kick off is Etter. And it's going to bounce at about the 17, and it's taken at about the 12 and swarmed and gets through. And now he's got plenty of room, gets to the 40. Tell you what, that's Deshaun Johnson, sophomore running back. He had trouble getting a handle on the ball, but once he did, he broke 2 or 3 tackles and made something out of nothing.
You know, Jeff, I'm going to constantly talk about this because after we saw the fiasco with the kicking game last night, you know, Dutchtown kicks off and kicks all the way across the field to an open spot.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, number 2 for
number 3, Johnson.
Johnson has to run all the way across the field to get the ball. And, of course, he made a nice little run. There's a little penalty and stuff like that. But that's the stuff that I'm talking about right there. You know, doing little bitty things to give your team a chance.
And Evangel, and there's a penalty, and I believe they had 12 players in the huddle, and so that's going to be a 5-yard penalty. And so a little sloppy start on both sides. I believe there are penalties on both sides on the first play from scrimmage. So 5-yard penalty there. The Evangel Christian Eagles, they're led by their quarterback, who is a sophomore. And you talked about Duron kind of building this team, rebuilding, and you see a lot of sophomores on this team. Number 13, Parker Fulgham. He is a wide receiver / defensive back, I believe.
And he's the starting quarterback?
I believe so. Well, they have number 12 in there right now, but we have 13 as the starter. Let's see.
Yeah. Did not get any information from Evangel.
Correct. So it's 1st and 15, but he's the only quarterback on the roster right now. And there's a pitch out to number 43, and he gets maybe a yard.
So I'm going to just tell you right now, Jeff, you know, when back in the initial start of Evangel's glory days, the quarterback was 9 yards deep, and that center was snapping the ball just like you snapping basically to a punter almost.
Right.
And I can promise you I've never seen them under center snapping the ball and running a pitch sweep. So
it's a new era, I guess. You know.
Well, rebuild. You know, they're probably trying to give their kids a chance here.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a break right here for the a timeout is going to be called by Evangel, and we'll take this opportunity to look at the Dutchtown defensive starters. And they're going to run a 4-3 tonight. And you see Tridon Williams, Aiden Lewis, Zion Tremont, and Gabe Marable are going to be on the line. Then you have at linebacker McCaffrey, Agu, and Hanbury. Cornerbacks Evan Reddix and number 11 Alvin Lewis. And then the safeties, and the safeties are always a big key to the Dutchtown defense through the years. And they got 2 really good ones who you're going to hear a lot about. Number 10, Tanner Vadney, he might be the best defensive player coming back for the Griffins. And then number 2, A.K. Burrell, he's an outstanding player as well.
So Agu is back from last year, or is that
That's
relative?
The brother.
Relative.
Yes, the brother.
Very good player last year, the brother.
Yeah,
Agu.
he played cornerback last year, Justin. But Dixon is a good player as well. It's 2nd and 15. And on 2nd down, play action, and the pass is up for grabs and intercepted. And what did I tell you? A.K. Burrell, the safeties, are the playmakers on the Dutchtown defense year in, year out. And a pick, and Dutchtown has field position in Evangel territory.
Nice tip of the ball right there. And here you go right there, Burrell right there picking the ball up.
If I see A.K. Burrell on Monday, I'm going to give him credit for making me look good right there. Talking about the safeties, comes right back with a pick. Kind of like you had yesterday with calling the block punt.
Little play action pass right there, and, with the movement and everything going across the field with the routes. And Dutchtown was right there to make the play.
And so interception by Burrell, and it looks like they have their version of the belt, like a little wrestling belt that they gave to the defensive player for an interception. Couldn't see that on the sideline, but if there's another turnover, you might want to look on the sideline next time with the shots to see the little wrestling belt that he got there. A.K. Burrell with the interception. He was actually an offensive player last year a lot. He played a running back, wide receiver, but they moved him to defense, and he made a big play right there.
Well, Pyron back in at quarterback.
We do expect to see Sean Winfield, number 13, as the night goes
Sampson's in also.
1st and 10 for the Griffins. Pyron with the keeper. And he's got room, and he's got 9 down to the 35. About 9.5. He's close to a first down. I think he's going to be about a half a yard
watch
short.
this fake and go right here.
Exactly.
53.
And you saw 2 guys right on top of him, right on top of Dylan Sampson.
Will DeLone, nice job of pulling and turning up in there and kind of ISOing in on that linebacker. But, Pyron, I'm going to just tell you, when he was at Prairieville, he killed us on these fake and goes. I mean, he was outstanding.
And it helps to have Dylan Sampson in the backfield because he's going to draw a lot of players. And you see the keeper again, and he's down inside the 20 to the 16. So red zone again. And now with the option keeper, you have Pyron just eating up the yards.
Yeah, basically the same play right there. Maybe reading something to where you do pull it. A little different fake action right there.
You can tell that they have a lot of confidence in this offensive line. Most plays are going between the tackles right here, and they're just eating up yards on this Evangel defense. So 1st and 10, the ball's at the 17-yard line of the Eagles. You got the split backfield now, and they're looking left and complete. Down to the 5, pushing ahead to about the 3. Not quite enough for a touchdown, but it's going to be 1st and goal, and that's Leaf Watkins, number 82, with the reception. Looked like he was going to go with the little swing pass to Langlois, but then looked downfield and found Watkins.
I like what I saw right there. Nothing deep. Sometimes young quarterbacks have issues with everybody. It really has issues with throwing the ball deep. Sometimes looked off the strong safety right there and flipped it in that little zone there, Jeff. Nice pitch and catch.
Absolutely. Just everything going right so far for the Griffins. Knock on wood. 1st and goal, and there's a whistle. So everything's going right, and then you get the whistle. Let's see what's happening here. Not quite sure. Maybe a play clock issue. I think that's what it is. It's a clock issue. Clock running at 3:15. 7-0 Griffins. 1st down. Sampson down to the 1. Good tackle there to keep him out of the end zone. So Jordan, the linebacker, makes the tackle for the Griffins, but it's 2nd and 1. I don't think, and again, knock wood, I don't think we've seen a negative yardage play so far on the night for the Griffins, which means that you would expect them to get in the end zone on this play.
I think you can follow 88. He's going to take you to the ball. There it is.
You're right, and that's why you're the coach. And a touchdown for the Griffins.
I could just see he was set up on that left side. You got DeLone in front of him. Quipido also there.
Yeah, you see the pass to Watkins right there on the replay, but just a nice job on that left side. You got DeLone, you got Quipido, you got
basically all you're doing
one-on-one
blocking, and then 88 throws himself in there, and he says, this is going to be simple right here. So nice job there by that left side of the line. So you call him Icky?
Ickies. Like icky. Like kind of nasty, icky tasting food, I guess. The extra point is good, and it's 14-0 Griffins. We'll take a break. You're watching the Eatel High School football game of the week.
The athletic training staff of Dutchtown High School would like to thank Hollis Orthodontics, Tata Law Firm, Raising Cane's in Prairieville, Ross Downing GMC, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic Foundation for their support of our sports medicine program.
14-0, Dutchtown with the lead. Jeff Porsche, David Swacker with you, and Dutchtown just on offense, just eating up yardage between the tackles, and they haven't stopped Dylan Sampson, they haven't stopped Pyron, they haven't stopped anybody, and it's 14-0.
Speaking of Pyron, we'll have Jeff Pyron of Ascension Parish School Board, construction coordinator, supervisor. Talk to us about these beautiful turf fields.
And we'll talk about when we can see maybe the other ones ready for play, and talk about the whole process and all that, because, you know, Ida kind of affected that, and then you had the rain during the summer. And so there's a lot of things that kind of went into play that got us in the situation we're in right now. That was Johnson again, and Deshaun Johnson had a nice return. He's given Evangel good field position on both of their possessions. So now the quarterback, now he's out of that traditional shotgun that you were talking about. And a flag. I believe that is Fulgham, the quarterback. There's a lot of discrepancies between the roster we were given and the uniforms that we see out there on the field, the numbers. But I believe that's Fulgham, the quarterback. He's the only quarterback listed.
Yeah, that's what I was going to tell you, Jeff.
You got two Fulghams, Peyton Fulgham and Parker Fulgham. Yeah. So it's probably one of the Fulghams. And they're both sophomores, so they're probably twins.
One's a quarterback, one's a receiver.
So look for the two guys with the similar body types, I guess. So Fulgham at quarterback, and it's complete. I believe that's the other Fulgham. That's Fulgham and Fulgham right there, but I'm fairly sure.
And it looked like Dutchtown in a little soft coverage right there. And look, somebody says, why do you line up so deep as quarterback? And I'm going to just tell you, you don't have to worry about hot routes and stuff like this. You got a situation to where you take 3 steps back. Somebody could come straight through the line, unblocked, and probably is not going to get to the quarterback by the time he releases it.
And so now it's second down after the 10-yard gain, 2nd and 5, and it's caught again, and that's another first down. I believe that's Fulgham to Fulgham again. So
I can remember back in the great quarterbacks that they had, and they were able, right there, they using the short passing game, but boy, they would throw the long ball, anything that they wanted to. It did not have any problems protection-wise.
And as you said, when you're that far back, it's hard for you to get to the quarterback and put any pressure on him. So it's just a chance to read the whole field. And if you got a good arm, you can make a lot of positive plays, and that's what they're doing right now.
Interesting right here, just almost like a power eye right here.
Exactly. Still working out the shotgun 5 yards deep. Handoff, left side, good yardage.
Ran ISO right there. But where everyone was blocking, as you see right here to the right side, he just cut back the other way. And when you have those shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, Jeff, you can make that cut left or right or go straight.
And so Deshaun Johnson, that was the ball carrier right there. He picks up about 3. So it's 2nd and 7 for the Eagles. It's 14-0 as we are now inside the final minute of this first quarter.
I mean, you look at this roster, I do not see one senior on the roster.
Player coming in late.
Oh, I thought he was coming in motion.
Well, he was coming off the sideline and came onto the field, and they don't throw the flag as the pass is complete. So Fulgham with another completion on that left side. picking on the right side of the Dutchtown defense and picks up about 5, 3rd down and 1. That is going to be probably the final play of the first quarter. So we will take a break as soon as we hear the whistle. There it is. So we will take the 30-second break. It's 14-0 Dutchtown with the lead, but Evangel driving downfield. We'll see what happens when we come back. You're watching the Eatel High School football game of the week.
Welcome back. We've missed you. We know it's been tough. Because rebuilding your business isn't for the faint of heart. Your business needs a jump start. And we're here to help. Introducing Surge, symmetrical speed fiber internet from Eatel Business. Revved up data speeds at 30% off, plus 3 months free. We're glad you're back, and we're here to make your business surge.
We begin the second quarter. Dutchtown outscored Evangel 14-0 in the first quarter. That's where we stand right now. Evangel on the Dutchtown side of the field, though, and it's 3rd down and 1. Jeff Porsche, David Swacker with you. And you see the late substitution coming in, Zion Tremont playing at that tackle position.
And Jeff, Evangel's doing exactly what Scotlandville with a short passing game.
Yep. 3rd down and 1. The second effort may have got it, but he might be short. That's going to be a close call right there.
Well, you have this line judge right here, not the head line judge, and basically it was to his side, and
he's going to be about a foot short.
If you look at the back chain, so it's a little bit past the 50-yard line there. So they're a little short, so it's probably just inches.
Less than a foot for sure. Then just one man in the backfield, and they work under center, and the quarterback is able to get that easily before he's knocked down hard. I believe that was Agu who knocked him down. He hit him hard.
I think it was 40.
Okay. Now that'd be McCaffrey.
And I'm going to just tell you, he gave him a shoulder shot right there, and 12 headed back in the other direction.
Yep, but the quarterback, Fulgham, gets the first down. And that's all he needed. That's all he cares about.
You know what he's thinking right now? I'm glad I'm back in the shotgun here.
Yep, I'm not going to get hit on this play. Look for that left side on the Dutchtown sideline right here. That's where they've been going all night, on the short side of the field. And they look that way, and now he's going to get down. And a sack. Just took too much time, and that's Gabe Marable. And you don't see that. You're talking about that swag. You don't see a lot of sack from that deep snap shotgun.
That outside rush caused him to go forward, and when you went forward, you know, that secondary rush on the line of scrimmage right there was able to penetrate and get to the quarterback for, a 5-yard loss there.
Right, and you could see Fulgham's eyes were focused on that left side of the field, and after a couple of completions in a row, I think Dutchtown kind of figured it out, got smart to it, and that might have been a coverage sack as well.
I think basically he was looking for one guy, and that guy evidently, probably the wide receiver here to the left.
Right. The other Fulgham. So it's 2nd down and 15, and the flag goes down. And I think the play clock ran out. That's what it is. So now it's 2nd and about 20 for Evangel. Evangel had a nice drive going there. They got a first down. They got that 4th down conversion by the quarterback to get another first down, but now you have a sack and a delay of game, and now it's 2nd down and 20, and they're in a hole. They've completed those short passes, but they haven't proven that they can have big play capability yet so far on the night, and that's what they need right here. They are maybe get about half of it back right here, see what they can do on 3rd down. Split left and right. Long shotgun snap. Looking around, pressure up for grabs, and it is dropped. Incomplete. Receiver got his hands on it, but could not pull it in.
Well, I mean, he went up with looked like the left hand and looked like it almost brought it in.
Parker Fulgham, the intended receiver, he made a couple of catches there on the night. So now it's 3rd down and 20. They need to get to the 29-yard line for the first down. As we are now with the clock stopped, 9:14 left to go until halftime. This game just flying by compared to last night. Now you got the empty backfield, 5 receivers. One at tight end. And the long snap, looking around, pressure, deep pass downfield, and only a Dutchtown defender there, and he picks it off. And another interception, 2 on the night, and that's Alvin Lewis, number 11, the right cornerback. Make it the left cornerback, I guess, right here. As it looked like he was the intended receiver right there.
And you can see number 43, he was open. Of course, we don't have a 43 on our roster, but he was open right there, and I think the quarterback getting hit right when he threw it, not a possibility. Great job on the coverage on the outside.
And we talked about this earlier in a similar situation with Troy Lewis from EA with the deep pass that was intercepted. That's basically the same as a punt right there. As it was 3rd and 20, not a great opportunity to convert right there. And then with the long interception, they get the ball at the 15-yard line. So, I mean, it works out well for Evangel considering.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you on the punt, but that kid's probably asking you, Jeff, can I have my belt? That's all I want, Bun.
Yeah, exactly. And so the first down pass, first incompletion of the night, first play that doesn't go for positive yards. Pyron was trying to hit Bader Langlois, but ball falls out of his hands, incomplete at 2nd and 10 from the 15. Evangel needs to stop right here and get the ball back on the Dutchtown side of the field. We'll see if they can get it. Quarterback keeper right up the middle, and they get the first down, or darn near close to it.
I'm just telling you, sneaky quick, sneaky fast.
Yes. And you see every time they fake it to Dylan Sampson, somebody is there to tackle him, and nobody is there looking for Pyron.
Well, you can put Langwall back there, and as good a job as what we saw last year.
And here's a touchdown. Nobody's going to catch this guy.
Well, he's going to put it back in first gear about halfway there.
Touchdown, Griffins. And it's 20-0. And look, that's a 3rd down and 1. They were just trying to get the first down.
Offensive line, big 77 right there on the push.
Ethan Fields. And you got to give some credit to Sampson right there. He had 3 guys on him, and he just tore right off.
Well, he did that, but I noticed that offensive line had that second push right in there.
Right.
And while they got the defensive line for Evangel going backwards, Sampson's able to roll off of that pile and easily get into the end zone untouched after that.
20-0, extra point coming from Eder. And it's good, 21-0 and we will take a break.
That's got to be fun for the band this year, catching the extra points.
Absolutely. They all rally around the flag, I guess. But it's 21-0, and it's break time. So you are watching the Eatel High School football game of the week.
Welcome back. We've missed you. We know it's been tough. Because rebuilding your business isn't for the faint of heart. Your business needs a jump start. And we're here to help. Introducing Surge, symmetrical speed fiber internet from Eatel Business. Revved up data speeds at 30% off, plus 3 months free. We're glad you're back, and we're here to make your business surge.
And so Dylan Sampson goes 75 yards in about 3 seconds, it seemed like, in real time. But he just flies down the field, and you can see why he's going to be an SEC running back most likely next season as the senior goes the distance. And it's 21-0, and now Eder will kick off for the Griffins. And
I'm sure you can attest to this in my dealings with him, which has been a few times. Very good kid, too.
Absolutely. Deshaun Johnson, he's
kick it where they're not.
Exactly. And a little sideways bounce. And look at that. Big tackle.
Number 2, Burrell. Burrell says, maybe I can hit him and get a fumble also right here.
And I told you that watch Burrell and Vadnais. Vadnais been quiet, but Vadnais the guy we expected to hear a lot from tonight, but Burrell is just knocking some heads.
I'm thinking, Jeff, right there, Burrell did not get touched. Did a good job avoiding a blocker. straight down the field. And look, the runner, return guy, had to probably run 30 yards just to get to the ball.
And
not a good setup what the Evangel has right there, I don't believe.
Right, and on first down, he gets the ball again, and now he's going to lose even more yardage as you see Agu and Vadney and a lot of Dutchtown defenders to wrap him up.
Agu saying, brother, check me out. The name lives on.
Absolutely. And so lots of Griffins there on the tackle. I believe that was Trident Williams as well on that line. And so a big loss on the play. And the first couple of drives, Evangel had the ball past the 30, but that big play by Burrell, and now they're deep, second and long. Inside the 10, and they're probably going to be even further. We'll wait for the call. And illegal procedure. And another 5-yard penalty, maybe half the distance, down to the 5. So it's going to be second and 19. They got to get, or second and 18. They got to get to the 23-yard line. Kind of following Ted Babin's lead there. You can hear him in the background. Whatever he says, everything I'm about to say right before I can say it. 7:01 left to go in the second quarter. And handoff, maybe a yard. And that's going to be third down and long. And Evangel's in trouble now.
Yeah, it just seemed like Evangel, it's a tough situation. I can only imagine. But, here you are under center. Then here you are, you're 9 yards deep. Here you are, you're in the spread. And let's see how they handle this situation. Third and about 16.
So he's setting up at about the 2-yard line out of the shotgun. Man in motion, and he's going to get it. And that might be a safety. He's fighting to get out the end zone. It's going to be fourth down on the 1.
That head linesman, boy, they love to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I'm not going to give you that.
They wanted it, and they nearly got it.
And I think it might have been a good call, too.
Yeah. And it might help them out in the long run because they're going to get great field position.
Well, the field position might be that punt blocked.
Exactly. They still might get 2 points out of this. So let's see who's going to be back to take this punt. It may be Burrell. There, it is Burrell at the 30.
Junior cornerback and return guy. Very good job on the punt. Burrell, go get that ball.
He lets it bounce all the way to the 40. I think he just chose to let it go.
You know what Burrell
said? Smartest
decision. He said, "We could, I could see right there, Guy Mistretta talking to him. I understand what you're doing right there. We're gonna hand the ball to 21. He could score from anywhere, but you can't too, son. Get that ball and go get after it."
And Burrell's had a great night. And I tell you what, he's another one of those double-duty players. Coach Shake, he's probably proud of these kids that he's got on the baseball team because you got 3 starters that we've mentioned here tonight. Ickey's the tight end. Burrell, who made the big plays right there, and then Will DeLone on the offensive line. They've all made big contributions tonight, and they're part of a really strong baseball team that made it to the quarterfinals last season.
I don't know where I heard this, 80% of the guys that participated in the Super Bowl were 2 sport athletes in high school.
And they're all outstanding in both sports. And so, I'm sure there's a connection there. And you bring it up as well. We got 5:12 left to go here before halftime. It's already 21-0, and the game pretty much dominated by the Griffins so far on the ground with Sampson, Pyron, and Baylor Langlois. And now you see Langlois in the backfield. Pyron's gone the distance so far.
And this might be it for Sampson tonight.
It could be. I think he's set up in a slot right now. I believe I saw him in the game. I may be wrong.
Langlois pushes his way.
Yeah, Langlois gets about 5. Yeah, Sampson's set up in the slot over there on the left side. So he's still in the game. They may try to showcase his receiving talents right here.
And I'm sitting here looking at this coverage. He runs right by this guy. Would not be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
They could say they in cover 3. That safety's about 8 or 9 yards deep.
Yep.
It looks like pure man to me.
2nd and 4. Quick pass to Ickes through his hands. Incomplete. So it's 3rd down and 4.
I would say, Pyro, the throw needed to be to the outside receiver. 88 hitches that up on the inside shoulder, that strong safety, and you got a little deeper coverage there by the corner.
Yeah, the wide out turnip seed nearly got it on the rebound, but it falls incomplete. 3rd down, and there's Langlois, and a flag goes down. That's one of those 20-yard flags that usually calls for holding.
That's a pretty good shot by that official, all the way from the 10-yard toss right there. He might have added a little bit more weight in that flag.
First of all, you usually know it's holding by the person who throws it. And usually there's only a couple people out there that you would expect to throw it. But usually when it goes about 20 yards downfield, that's usually when they call holding. You see a lot of the other flags just dropped or kind of tossed up in the air, but that one just flew the distance right there. Showing off his arm right there on the holding penalty. 4:22 left to go. It's 3rd down and 13. Langlois still in the backfield. 2 left, 2 right.
So
and that kind of looked like it was blown up. It looked like the bubble screen to turnip seed was probably the call right there, but a lot of traffic. Never got to the ball. It's 4th down.
You have Sampson in the slot, and I'm not real certain what the idea is. They're in pure man. I would say, Pyro, just throw it as far as you can. He runs right under it. I mean, this could be easy pitch and catch.
This is a big deal for Evangel. It's still only 21-0, and they were punting from their 1-yard line. It looked like a sure shot that Dutchtown would get points out of this in that position. Then you saw Burrell let the ball bounce to the 40, and then you had a penalty, and now Dutchtown's going to have to punt.
Well,
so that's the first time they're going to punt tonight.
Yeah, Langlois, I mean, we saw him last year in a reserve role, but a very powerful runner.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to just tell you, him coming into the game, there might be a difference in speed, but that's going to be a difference in speed to anybody that comes into the game.
Yeah.
But 7 Langlois is a hard-running back.
And now we have a timeout. Pyron, the punter, still the quarterback, also the punter.
I said they're going to go for it.
It's 4th down and 8 after a penalty on the Evangel side. And this game's been flying pretty quickly. Let's get to the season opener information for Dutchtown. We got a lot of things to catch up on here, I suppose, with the speed of this game. We're only now talking about the season openers, in Dutchtown overall they're 11-7. Home they're only 3-5, but away they have dominated 7-2. They won their first game ever, the game at the pit against Grace King.
Benny Saya.
Yep. And then last year they got Covington, who is going to be their opponent next week, most likely, and also one of our games of the week. They won 35-21.
It's amazing. Opening games canceled.
So many.
Katrina, Gustav, Isaac, Ike, Ida.
Yep. And they're going for it, as you predicted. Shotgun, and now Sampson's in the backfield. They don't give it to him. And quarterback's going to run, and he's trapped and sacked. So 4th down conversion unsuccessful for the Griffins, which stops the clock at 4:01 left to go before halftime. So Evangel's going to get good field position.
From the 41-yard line.
Yeah, they couldn't see quite what was going on in the secondary right there, but it looked like pure man to me. And a lot of times they're going to cover you up pretty tight and force you to throw that ball down the field.
They did make some progress moving down the field on one of the previous possessions, but that possession ended in an interception. Dutchtown already has 2 interceptions on the night of the quarterback, Peyton Fulgham. So we'll see if they can get
basically
three.
got 2 tight ends now.
41-yard line, man in motion. And they're going to toss it to him. And Vadnais right there gets past Vadnais, and then he's wrapped up for a short game.
Said, God, dog, I just barely missed him.
But you got a Goo coming right behind him, so that's his insurance right there. And so no gain on the play.
Well, you know, I'm just sitting here watching Dutchtown. They're just in the prettiest 4-3. Looks like cover 2.
So 2nd and 10, and that was slow moving right there, and a tackle right up the middle by number 22 for Dutchtown. Hanbury. Good job by Hanbury making the tackle. And it's 3rd down. That play just looks slow developing. It's like they had trouble with making the conversion on the handoff.
You got to handle that defensive end, outside linebacker.
And wide open. Look at this. This is going to be big yardage down to the 30, down to the 25, and inside the 21. Big catch by their tight end.
And watch, he come from the right side, crosses all the way across the field, gets the ball off.
So
nice little pitch and catch right there.
And now they're in business and have a chance to cut this down to a 14-point ball game. Agoo made the tackle from behind. It's 1st and 10 from the 24 for
this
Evangel.
Is what I would say, and I'm not trying to be a know-it-all here. This is what Evangel does right here, and this is what they need to be in every empty situation. Throw it down there.
Complete pass and a decent gain. And a little hurry up, it looks like, no huddle. So it's going to be 2nd down and about 5. Clock running, 2:35 before halftime.
Still an empty.
And now we have a whistle. And it looks like there's a substitution issue going on there.
Well, Evangel's had some strange things. There's been a number of plays where players have come in late from the sideline.
Right. It looks like they allowed a substitution at the last second in that no huddle. 2nd down, and it's complete, similar to the play previously on the other side, and they get down to about the 12.
Nice blocking on the outside.
That's going to be close to a 1st down. I think he got it. And so it's 1st and 10 with 2:08 left to go. Fighting the clock, I believe they have a couple of timeouts left. Clock is stopped. Now it's back in motion and pass complete. Low swing pass going swing left, swing right, swing left, swing right. And it's successful for a short gains, and it gets about 3 or 4 more.
Doing a pretty good job of blocking on the outside. Dutchtown looks like they're kind of off of them a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see what happens right here when you're on a 6, 7, 8 yard line. That coverage may get a little bit tighter, and as you can see them coming up.
I wonder if one of the DBs is going to make an aggressive play on one of these right here pretty soon. And it's complete. And the ball's on the ground, and there's a fight for it. I think Evangel came up with it. He did. I believe that's the quarterback who came up with it. I think that was Fulgham with the catch and Fulgham with the recovery.
And they call that little tunnel screen.
And that'll stop the clock, and a timeout has been called. 21-0, 1:16 left to go before halftime. And let's take a look at the records in 5A, as a couple of games were played last night. And Catholic, they won last week. McKinley, they got the win, and so they're on top of the standings at least after week 1. They defeated Capitol High last night. East Ascension, our game of the week from yesterday, a loss to Scotlandville. It was a fun game, a long game, penalties and everything, but it was a fun game. And the East Ascension hung around for a long time until they kind of broke their backs at the end.
Interesting night.
Mm-hmm.
The game started off with a kickoff return of 90-plus yards, and then all of a sudden, a lot of personal foul penalties, and you get a successful 50-yard extra point by Scotlandville.
Which is really more interesting because I don't think they made another extra point the rest of the night. I don't even think they pulled one off, like got in the air. And a little corner route up for grabs, and I think a Dutchtown defender came up with it out of bounds.
I think he was pretty close to being on the track right there.
Yeah.
Nice coverage right there. Looks like he had help over the top. And as you can see right there, they got that completely covered.
Yeah, that was Burrell who did come up with the ball, and also good coverage by Alvin Lewis. And substitutions on 4th down. So I think they're going to go for it right here, maybe. Or are they setting up? No, they're setting up for the – or no, I thought that the little short guy in the backfield was going to kick, and maybe that's what they're going to do. Hard to tell. Number 33 on their roster. And that may be Kagan Kent. That's who we have listed as a kicker, but not the right number. So it's going to be about a 28-yard field goal right from the middle of the field. And the snap, and it's partially blocked, I believe.
Partially blocked?
Yep.
I think that might have been 11.
That would be Lewis if that's the case. So the shutout remains for Dutchtown. They may be able to go to the locker room at halftime with a 21-0 lead. Of course, here's the thing. Get number 21, they can score at any time on one play. So
well,
let's see.
21's coming in the game. That's be the first thing I would check.
Exactly. 1:04 left to go before the half.
And is he in the backfield or is he in his slot position?
I think they may be going with the split back, Slangwine, Sampson left and right. Yep, that's what they're going to do.
This is an interesting formation that I really like a lot right here because you basically have 3 very strong running backs there.
And they're going to go in the air. And it's caught. And broken tackle. Another broken tackle. Look at this. Oh, nearly broke it the distance. That's Lemanuel Turnipseed.
Turnipseed is a shoestring from scoring there.
And maybe they were peeking in the backfield.
Nice throw by Pyron right in that hole there. Saw the backs separate, that curl up in there. Nice read.
It's first down from the 48. And in trouble, and now he'll run. And now he throws downfield. He has a receiver. I think he was past the line of scrimmage, and they're going to throw the flag.
Yes, he was about 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah.
But one thing I like about that out of Pyron, yes, past the line of scrimmage, but you saw where his head was, looking downfield the whole time.
He had Turnipseed, and he's got confidence in him after that play.
People say, well, you could have got some. Yeah, but you know what? I just think that's how you coach them up because if they continue to just run all the time, you're going to miss out on some big plays in the passing game.
So it's going to be a loss of down. So it's going to be second and
Ball is at the 49-yard
13.
line, second and 13.
And now it's only Sampson in the backfield, 35 seconds left to go.
There's such a screen.
They're looking Sampson's way, and they complete it to him in the flat. He's got one-on-one to beat, and he beats him easily. Look at that speed. My goodness. And he's in. Look at this. That's just not fair, Swack.
Watch the little stop and go.
Oh, my. He should have been stopped twice right there.
In the coaching profession, Jeff, you know what you call that?
They're bringing it back.
Call that a well-coached kid.
Mm-hmm. They're bringing it back.
Illegal formation against the Griffins.
Illegal formation, what, Sampson was in the game?
Legal formation basically means you got to have 7 guys on that line of scrimmage. You can have more, but that eliminates maybe somebody being eligible as a receiver. And so it's usually one of those wide receivers just not getting up on the line of scrimmage.
Yep. And it's a shame because when you hit that one-on-one in the flat, you knew Sampson was going to win that. But what we didn't expect was to break 2 more tackles and get in the end zone.
Well, the good thing about that whole play, you know what it was? He didn't take long getting down there.
No, he did not.
So, still got plenty of time that something could happen.
19 seconds. They could set up a field goal. Dutchtown usually has a pretty strong kicking game. New kicker this year. Pyron in trouble, and he's going down. Good thing he held on to that ball. And the clock only starting to run. I believe the clock may have been a little late.
It looked like those two defenders right there, 6 and 24, Dawson.
Mm-hmm. Number 24, Drake, an 8th grader.
Kind of met at Pyron in the backfield.
And they're going to go straight into halftime. And so we're going to take a break in just a moment. Dutchtown leads 21-0 at the half. And at halftime, we're going to have an interview. Jeff Pyron is going to join SWAC in just a moment. We're going to take a short break first.
Welcome back. We've missed you. We know it's been tough. Because rebuilding your business isn't for the faint of heart. Your business needs a jump start. And we're here to help. Introducing Surge, symmetrical speed fiber internet from Eatel Business. Revved up data speeds at 30% off, plus 3 months free. We're glad you're back, and we're here to make your business surge.
Dr. Brian Hollis is Ascension Parish's orthodontist. Dr. Hollis has an excellent reputation for bringing state-of-the-art technology and the highest standard of patient care to Ascension. He attended LSU Dental School, and he completed a residency to become a board-certified specialist in orthodontics. An avid supporter in our community, Dr. Hollis is married to Celeste Pyron Hollis, and they have 4 children. Dr. Hollis, Ascension Parish's orthodontist. Grow up smiling with Hollis Orthodontics.
It's game day. A day that should be spent in the living room, not the kitchen. So next game, you just worry about the score, because we've got the food covered. With hand-battered, cooked-to-order, always fresh, never, ever frozen chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, crispy crinkle-cut fries, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
The Title Law Firm has been fighting for our clients to get their best recovery for over 20 years. And now that tradition will continue to the next generation.
Hi, I'm Rick Tata, the newest member of the Title Law Firm.
We understand that it can be frustrating dealing with your claim.
So we're here to help you get what you deserve. If you're seriously injured in an accident, call the Title Law Firm today.
We're not just a face on an ad.
Call 756-0007 when you're injured. You gotta call. You gotta call Tata.
Back at Dutchtown High School, Dutchtown football field, where you see our Eatel game of the week. Dutchtown's ahead of Evangel 21-0 at halftime. Now you're fixing to listen to the Dutchtown High School band. Miss Sheely Bell, band director. Many in the profession.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Dutchtown Sound.
deserts of the distant and mysterious land, a weary traveler comes across a lamp, a magical lamp.
Okay, Genie. Okay, Genie. I'd wish for great wealth. Your wish is granted.
Next, we feature our Griffin Girls as they perform the Soul Chart from Robert Rudolph and the Family Band. Ain't nothing wrong with that. the Dutchtown Sound and the Griffin Girls. We hope you have enjoyed tonight's halftime performance.
Congratulations and thank you, Sheila Bell and the Dutchtown Band. Well, I have with me Jeff Powell. And Jeff Powell, tell us your title here, Coach.
It's a supervisor of planning and construction and safety and security, Coach.
How many years with the school board?
Going on 16.
Great job right there. And so basically someone said, Jeff, we need you to handle this turf. And so we have it here at Dutchtown. I know there's been all kinds of things happening with the weather and stuff like this. So talk to us a little bit about the turf situation. But first of all, let's just talk about just exactly what's going on here at the beginning of the school year. You know, we still had the COVID. We still have the issues with the hurricane and stuff like that.
Yes, sir. Well, we're happy to be back in school. We got our students back in on Thursday, most of them, and in virtual. Monday, everybody will be back in, and we were happy about that. And it took a lot. It took a lot of joint effort between the Ascension Parish government and us. Getting our schools ready. You know, we opened up our schools as shelters for the first responders and the electrical groups with AP Gov and Mr. Diaz over there.
That's got to be huge.
Oh, that was big, Coach. We were glad to help. You know, we have the facilities and we had power and electricity. So Mr. Diaz requested. We, got through the paperwork and all the legals and made it work. And, our buses, if you go to school in here, you know that we started an hour later. The reason we started an hour late was to clear the roads, make sure we had things. The DPW group worked with our bus drivers, cleared all the roads for us so we can get our kids to school. So we're just happy to be back in school and able to have a football game.
And I bet you these first responders, did they eat good?
Oh, yeah, the jambalaya first night, Coach. You know that.
Good job,
you know
Jeff.
that.
Bro. Appreciate that. All right, let's talk about the turf.
Yes, sir. So turf, kind of we were talking earlier, and what I like to ask people, one question too, when they say turf is, what are the single most important thing we do in Ascension Public Schools? And that is graduate students. That's what we do. That's our purpose, take them from kindergarten all the way through, sometimes pre-K. We get them there, and we decided to have graduation on our fields this year, so turf had to start after that, May 17th. And Sprint Turf out of South Carolina won the job, and they came to us and said, hey, here's what we want to do. We want to start at the hardest field and the easiest field. Hardest field being Santa Mo, and the easiest field being Dutchtown. Between Dutchtown, Santa Mo, East Ascension, and Donaldsonville, this was built in 2000, so the infrastructure's there. The tie-in to the drainage system is good. Santa Mo, on the other hand, is our smallest stadium, but it's going to be the most expensive and have the least amount of turf. But I had to raise that field, Coach, 2.5 feet. So when the players walk on to
you can see that Santa Mo field right there.
Yeah, when the players walk on, and the coaches, they're going to have to walk up 4 steps, Coach. We had to raise it 2.5 feet to drain the field to some lift stations to pump to the swamp. So I'm not going to call it an engineering marvel, but it took a lot of dirt work and a lot of things. So what we decided to do as a parish was substantially complete one field at a time. As the contractor got it available, we would substantially complete it so we could play. We ran into a lot of rain. It was a 100-day contract, Coach, and we ran into 54 to 58 days of rain in that 100.
And flooding on top of that.
And flooding on top of that. I mean, it wasn't just a little small rain. It was downpours.
Right.
And you can't work in the mud and all those sort of things. So everybody's been really good about it. All the coaches, all the ADs, and the principals understand where we're at. But if you ride by the pit, you've seen the picture of it. I mean, there's a retaining wall that had to be poured around there. 24-inch pipes have to be sunk in the ground. And then the turf. To put the turf in, Coach, is the easiest part. That's 10 days. When you lay the turf, this is about a week away, maybe a week and a half away, that picture you see in front of you, from putting the turf down. To put the turf is 10 days. Those guys roll, they get in, they get out. 10 days you can play on it.
Wow.
So the prep is getting it to that point. And we're just happy we got one field done. So it is an inconvenience for the Spartans, the Gators, and the Tigers over in Donaldsonville to have to go find another place to play. I think Dutchtown has done a great job, the staff and the faculty, for opening up the stadium. We don't want anyone to lose any money on gate. We don't want to lose any money on concessions and those kind of things. So, and you see the 4 fields in front. You see the one out here live. They're going to be absolutely beautiful when they're done.
The gate last night had to be great. I mean, the stands were full here on the east.
It was full. The concession stands. I mean, the schools are able to make the money to support all their programs that they have. So that was my biggest concern, was getting at least one field ready to be able to play on. And contract-wise, it happened to be Dutchtown High. And but I think you can see, you've seen all 4 of them. I mean, they're going to be spectacular when we get them. The hurricane has put us back a few more weeks. We're working with the contractor trying to get them back in site or in the parish on site. We're having trouble with hotel rooms and those kind of things for them because, all the first responders and evacuees are eating up the hotel rooms, and we understand that. So we're working hard and trying to jump through those hurdles to get us back where, we can finish Santa Monica and get on East Ascension and Donaldsonville, and hopefully we can play on those things relatively soon.
This is the way I look at things, kind of simple, Jeff. Donaldsonville, East Ascension, Santa Monica. They got to travel every game anyway. So, now they're coming here to Griffin Stadium, nice facility and everything. And, they know their field's going to be turfed. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
That's right. It's going to be nice. And look, one of the other things, I came out one day when the turf was going down about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Coach, and it was 136 degrees on the field. Had a gun with me.
Wow.
One of the things I want to make sure everyone understands is that the district has allowed us and provided the funding to get a cooling agent on here. And it's going to reduce the temperature down to 20%. That's an actual prill. That's the properties of the prill does that on the top of it. That's going to help for Banbury. That's going to help doing soccer. all the different sports to be able to reduce the temperature. 136 is hot. That's a normal field.
Yes.
So having that cooling agent will reduce it to 110, 118. In some instances. So I'm excited to see how that's going to perform.
And then I was just kind of searching under the stadium, and I see the machinery. What has to be done for maintenance of the field, maintaining the field?
Yeah, well, the program we had before, we had Celebration Bermuda, which is what was at Tiger Stadium. We absolutely loved it. It was good. And when the engineer came and seen our process, he said, "Look, y'all have a great maintenance program here to be able to handle these fields. So we're gonna perform its spec and put it out there what this field is and the items that need to take it. It's basically a groomer. You have to cut it a couple of times a week. You don't cut it, you groom it. It fluffs up the prills and lays the ground back flat, and that's it."
So basically, it's a kind of like raking or sweeping.
It is grooming. It's like a street sweeper. You've seen a street sweeper, and is bumming around, and prills are flying all over the place. Then you come back with a brush.
And so you could just pull that, right?
It's pulled behind a gator or a rake or a turf tire tractor. Those kind of things. Yeah.
Oh, outstanding. So here we are starting. I know you're a little bit excited because your son's playing a little quarterback.
Yeah. Well, I wish we wouldn't have had a penalty there at the end of the first half.
Yes,
that would have worked out pretty good.
That would have been a nice little pitch and catch right there. So basically, where is Donaldsonville having to find their own fields?
Yeah, Donaldsonville. I talked to Coach Richardson last night. He was here at the East Ascension Spartan game. I talked to him, and him and his principal, Mr. Marvin Evans, decided that Plaquemine was better for them. So they're going to go to Plaquemine. They feel their fans will travel there better, so they worked it out with Iberville.
Pretty simple chirp right there. Well, Jeff, I'm going to just tell you, I appreciate all your hard work. I know you came in on the maintenance side or whatever. A ton of things have been done under your direction and leadership, and I really appreciate it, boy. When I'm going to tell you what, when you free up your coaches to be able to coach, and we got trainers, great maintenance, terrific job right there, and thank you very much for everything that you do and stopping by, and good luck to your son here in the second half.
Thank you, Coach.
Jeff Pyral, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All righty.
Flawless handoff from Jeff to Jeff, and we're ready to go with the kick. And look at that, perfect timing. Swack, your timing is perfect. And the kickoff return to the 32-yard line, and that's Johnson. And we are underway in this second half. And let me grab my seat. Here we go.
Well, you say, when I have the great quarterback in Andre over there, when you have that type of quarterback, pretty close to Tom Brady here in the engineering room right here.
We ran the 2-minute offense.
There we go.
Exactly.
Kick the field goal at the end, win the game.
So perfect. Thank you, Swack. And it's 21-0 as we start the third quarter.
Thank you, Evangel. Line up, and you're going to run a sweep. And look, that's just not going to work against Dutchtown. I mean, they are so much bigger, faster, stronger.
Right, and you look at this team, and it's young. Sophomore, junior, senior, sophomore, junior, sophomore. They're 8th graders. This team, as you said earlier, Denny Duron's kind of just had to blow it up and rebuild it, and that's where he stands right now. And so they're going to have some troubles as the ball is incomplete, picked up off the ground. And so brings up 3rd down. And we also got to give credit to Lyle Boudreaux for helping get all this all set up as well. As he helped us set up the interview, and we had all of our shots and everything. Got to also give credit to Duck Roost Sports for letting us share their photo of the Sanoma Field in progress. So lots of people helped make that halftime show happen, and we are very happy about that. 3rd down. Pass.
Pick.
Intercepted. That's Vadnais, and that's a pick 6. Most likely can break one tackle. He does. He gets in. Touchdown. Boy, I thought he was gonna trick me there and get tackled by the quarterback.
There you see the pick right there, and look, instead of headed straight up the field, he comes all the way across the field and basically untouched other with a quarterback try. And nice little interception and a big return. Outstanding.
Wonder if he's going to get – what is he going to get on the sideline? What kind of a prize is he going to get on the sideline there? You see down there he's walking at about the 25-yard line. He's got the belt. And so it's that's what we have for the turnovers. And Swack, I was just trying to catch up with you because you were making all the calls last night. Tonight I came and said the safeties were going to make a difference tonight. There you go.
Bingo.
28-0 is the score, and we will take a break. You're watching the Eatel High School football game of the week.
Introducing outage text alerts from Eatel. Sign up is quick, free, and easy. Stay informed, receive updates, and get emergency messages. Plus, our outage text alerts will notify you when there is a service disruption in your area. Sign up in 3 easy steps. Just log into your account, go to account settings, and select text notifications. It's that simple. So, sign up today at myaccount.eatel.com.
Pick 6, Tanner Vadnais, and it's 28-0, Dutchtown, and now they're starting to pull away a little bit more as they don't even have their offense on the field in the 3rd quarter and so far and get points. And the extra point, of course, coming from Jacob Etter. He's going to kick off second time.
I'm going to just tell you, in listening to Jeff Pyron in the interview, here we go with kickoff. Down to the 12, right up the middle. And again, that is Glenn. Nice little return. But Jeff Pyron has taught me more about turf in the last 2 days in conversations with him. And I'm sitting there going, Jeff, what about, if something happens that you need to change the griffin in the middle of the field? He said you unsew the area and you sew it back in, a different emblem or whatever. He said it's unreal. You see that all the time. Oh, here we go, pitch and catch, and that's a nice
wide
one.
Open. And he dropped it. Oh, that's the kind of night Evangel's been having.
And you got to give credit to Alvin Lewis, not on the coming up trying to stop the sweep, but really hustled going back and made a nice hit right there, causing the fumble.
Well, pass winds up being called incomplete. So that was big right there because you knocked out a 30-yard gain just on a perfectly timed shot right there. So, that's what you do. If you make a mistake, you make up for it, and Alvin Lewis just did that. But if that ball would have been on the money, that would have been 6. So Dutchtown catches a break right there.
Formation. There's a little screen outside. Nice fighting Good. Well, nice job offensively.
Good job breaking
right there.
tackles right there.
Missed a strong safety right there, but he did a great job of forcing the play in. Watch right here. That will be 22.
Yeah.
Forcing the ball in right there, and then you're getting help with that's Hanbury.
Right. He got kind of pushed from behind, but no call right there, and they get through and get about 9 yards. That was Judah Wharton on the catch. And
So, I mean, this throw is going to be there every time for an easy completion.
And the stretch, and it's picked up by Dutchtown as the receiver was trying to get the first down, and it's a turnover. And so I see number 40 getting up, McCaffrey.
He might have been down right there, but, you know.
Yeah, we'll have to see on that replay. I missed the replay trying to identify the player on the field with the ball. If we can get that again, yeah, perfect. And so he's stretching out. Okay, knees not down, knees not down. He's still, that's close. I think it may be a fumble. They're gonna rule it a fumble.
Well, I can tell you this: it is a fumble.
Well, it is because that's what they call it.
Dutchtown offense is on the field.
Yeah, they're not going to reverse that. I mean, that's a close play.
And it's the first time you get a little offsides right there.
And we've got to give some credit to our camera guys for being right up there on the shot. So, Josh and Nolan, I don't know which one of you got that shot, but awesome job. It's going to be 1st and 5 now.
Are you surprised Sampson's still in the game?
A little bit.
I just think that need to work to get in shape. Look at that counter right there.
And just, gobbling yards right up the middle. And I was wondering, and I talked to some of the people that in the know at Dutchtown. I thought the offensive line would be one of their weaknesses this year because you look at the guys they lost. Like you lost at least 3 guys with Hung and Gallman and Reed Davis. They all left, and they've been replaced, and it looks like they haven't lost a lot.
Jeff, I'll just tell you a little bit about that. If you in last year, what really kind of hurt you the JV season was just horrible. Being able to play games.
Right. You're right about
Langwall
that.
right up the pipe right there.
And he gets
You see, again, another nice little move there by offensive coordinator Mike Janis.
Mm-hmm.
Is 21. Sampson takes off as a decoy. Get a little movement when you see him running, then all of a sudden hand that ball right up the middle.
9 yards at 2nd and 1. I want to mention Lyle Boudreau with the eagle eye watching the game at home on the computer made sure that we knew that A.K. Burrell recovered the fumble. So A.K.'s just been everywhere tonight. And so give some credit to him. 2nd and short. And there's Dylan. And, this got to be his last series. They can bring it up to 35-0, and there's really no reason to risk it out there. So 1st down and goal at the 8-yard line with 7:54 left to go in the third quarter. So you got Langlois and Sampson. I'm curious to see some of these other backs because they've got some guys that we haven't seen much before. And I think they're going to get some playing time as the flag goes down.
Well, what I was just speaking about earlier is, when you talk about your offensive line, Jeff, you have kids. I mean, it's a process. Now, are you going to have somebody that's going to take Sampson's place, Langlois, both of them back there? No, maybe not. But you know what? Offensive line-wise, usually you have kids that step up through your weight program and things like that.
Yeah, and they've got some big guys. You see Ethan Fields, 6'3", 270. Michael Jones, 6'1", 315. So they got some size in the players that are replacing last year's big men. So you're right. You kind of got that program in place with the weight training and all that type of stuff. And so on first down and goal from the 13, a couple of yards, and so it's going to bring up second down. So everybody's going the distance. They've kept their starters in this game.
I like what Guy has right here. I love this two backfield.
Right.
Same thing happened.
It's designed to open up the middle, but it didn't right there.
Yeah, but see, you can look at it a lot of different ways. You have a guy curling up
right
towards the middle. You have an outside guy curling, which was number 20, and that's Rogers, and he's going. Everybody took off to Sampson, and Rogers curls up, and he says, I'm wide open. They completed that pass a little bit earlier.
Yes, they did. Third and goal from the 11. Now we just have Sampson, who's set up right of Pyron.
I would not be surprised if Sampson gets this ball on a run.
No, it's the option keeper, but that time didn't fool number 40. And that's Jamal Jordan, sophomore linebacker. And so it's fourth down and goal. And they're right in the middle of the field. They're probably just keeping it there, setting up for the field goal right here from
I don't know if that was a fake and go or a read right there, but it looked like that backside linebacker came in and did a pretty good job there.
Yeah. So 6 minutes left to go. We haven't had a hydration break, but we really hadn't needed one. They're not going to get one right here, so probably be after this play. You're going to have the extended break anyway.
Well, did we have hydrations in the first half?
I think a timeout was called, and they just used that as the one. Not the extra point. The field goal is good, so about a 28-yarder from Jacob Etter, and it's 31-0. 5:44 left to go in the third. We'll take a break. You're watching the Eatel High School Football Game of the Week.
The athletic training staff of Dutchtown High School would like to thank Hollis Orthodontics, Tata Law Firm, Raising Cane's in Prairieville, Ross Downing GMC, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic Foundation for their support of our sports medicine program.
31-0 Dutchtown with the shutout so far against Evangel Christian Academy out of Shreveport. Been an impressive third quarter for the Griffins. Had a pick six from Tanner Vadney, then the fumble recovery by Burrell, and the field goal from Jacob Etter. So they've outscored Evangel 10-0 in this third quarter. And it's been all Dutchtown pretty much all night. Defense plays well. Offense just making big holes for Sampson and Pyron and Baylor Langlois right up the middle and just gashing that defensive line and making big plays. And here we go with another kickoff.
Jeff, they've tried the passing game. Hadn't seen anything really downfield.
Right.
But I'm going to just tell you, even if Sampson could easily be involved in a passing game.
Well, you had that pass in the flat that was called back, which would have been a touchdown.
And so you pass downfield could be a pass to Sampson and him break a tackle or two or whatever.
Right. He did have that nice completion to Turnipseed at the end of the first half. So it's been just kind of limited, I guess, in that 2-minute drill. In regular time, as a flag goes down, as there's a big old pile at about the 22-yard line. So we'll see if this is a personal foul right here. When you have that big scrum in the middle of the field and it's after the play, you often see something like that.
Well, the white hat made the call. He's coming to the sideline. It's against Dutchtown.
This has been a very clean game. You've seen penalties here and there, but this is the first personal foul that we've seen. Both teams have been fairly disciplined. It's been a clean game to this point. Not compared to last night for sure, where you had 5 personal fouls in one play, which none of us have ever seen before. 1st and 10 for Evangel. Fulgham at quarterback, throws a pass complete to Fulgham.
Nice tackle there by Caden Mackey. You know, you come up right there, and you have to realize if he doesn't make that tackle, you know, you got a big play. And
right, they haven't. There was one little swing pass to the tight end that got about 25, 30 yards, but other than that, they've let them catch the ball and not make the big play. It's 2nd and 5 from the 44. And pass is complete again, and another first down, and they let him get past him this time, but he's pushed out of bounds inside the 35-yard line down to the 34. So that's Fulgham again with the catch. So he was able to get past I believe that was Mackey, the cornerback for the Griffins. But you haven't seen much of that. 4:34 left to go here in the third quarter. Dutchtown trying to keep the shutout as a timeout has been called. Now we are going to continue action. Clock will run. Play clock will run at least. And clock runs at 4:28.
I kind of like what I see out of Evangel right here. This is the Evangel thing, this empty package.
They're so young. Once they get more players on the field and more togetherness and more practice and all that, they're going to be better. They're going to be a better team. It's going to be tough right now, as you talked about. They play in 1-4A, and so I believe that's Division II for the select schools, and so you're competing with the St. Thomas Moores of the world in that, and that's a long uphill climb to compete with those schools.
Well, they go into the playoffs last year, 0-10.
2nd down. And overthrown, incomplete, intended for Tyreek Robinson. But that's what Evangel did, as you said. That's where they kind of made their money and made their reputation, playing up in the rankings, in the classifications, playing those schools and winning championships.
I remember a good buddy at West Monroe, Don Chow, says that Evangel wanted to play a regular season game. He said, you got to understand, and it's not a knock on Evangel, but look at the fans that they have right there.
Yeah, not a lot.
Not a lot, and West Monroe's going to bring 10,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And what are we going to do? Split this gate? As an AD, you always have to be thinking about financially.
Right.
How are we going to handle this situation?
And right there on the field, you had Fulgham with a nice run to get the first down inside the red zone to the 18-yard line. And this was a series that of course Guy Mastretta and Coach Duron made, and they were trying to set this up on a neutral site initially. I believe the plan was they were going to play in Alexandria.
They were going to play at Louisiana College.
Yes, but that plan fell through, and when it did, they brought it to Dutchtown, and that's a long drive for anybody coming out of Shreveport. And then you kind of double that with the hurricane going on down here, and some people may have been kind of cautious to drive this distance and come into a lot of unknown, I guess. 2nd and 7. As the clock runs, 2:19 left to go in the third quarter. And looks like they were going for Fulgham, but there was a miscommunication there as he was headed to the end zone, and it was thrown way over his head and behind him, incomplete.
Just kind of relaying things that I remember in the old days. Went to a playoff game at St. James versus Evangel. Evangel shows up with an 18-wheeler with their equipment.
Mm-hmm.
They show up with a lift that lifts the coaches above the stadium because, I'm sure they've been in situations, not like Dutchtown or whatever.
And they get in the end zone.
Oh, nice toss right there by the quarterback.
Touchdown. And so Evangel gets on the board, and we'll continue that story after the extra point in the break right there as Dutchtown gives up the first points of the night catch by Fulgham for the touchdown, and the extra point coming. So it's 31-6. So Evangel
very good throw
still
right
fighting
there.
back.
But, just Evangel, they had a first-class operation and very impressive football players.
And the extra point is good. It went right through it looked like, I believe, Lewis was going to block that.
I think Lewis was the one that got a hand on it in the past.
Right.
And basically what I'm looking at there is Lewis comes off the edge untouched. And, looked very quick.
So it's 31-7, 1:56 left to go in the third. We'll take a break. You're watching the Eatel High School football game of the week.
The athletic training staff of Dutchtown High School would like to thank Hollis Orthodontics, Tata Law Firm, Raising Cane's in Prairieville, Ross Downing GMC, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic Foundation for their support of our sports medicine program.
It's 31-7. Evangel gets on the board late in the third quarter. Dutchtown with the big lead. Jeff Porsche, David Swacker, and we see Langlois bag deep and Gary Dukes bag deep. No Dylan Sampson, so we've been curious about how long he would go. And they have a 24-point lead. They may sit him out a series right here. He's still got his helmet on. He's on the sidelines at about the 40-yard line. You can see him right there, number 21, on the 40-yard line.
And I'll just relay a little information from my past experience. Gary Dukes, his dad played for us at Santa Maria High School. Gary Dukes III, he's just a sophomore running back at Prairieville and was an outstanding running back at the middle school level. So he might be one that could take the reins next year as a junior.
Absolutely. They'll be looking for replacements next year in the backfield. As the kick will go to Langlois at the 20-yard line. And he gets to the 29-yard line. And Sampson, they've been kind of spoiled with that because he wasn't a starter as a freshman, but he played a lot as a freshman on the varsity team. I remember his freshman year, he had, I believe, an 80-yard run against Catholic. And this is his fourth year.
But on the other side of that, there's been some times he's had some nagging injuries, and Langlois has come in and as he's doing right now, and very strong effort by Langlois.
Right. We're expecting to see Jaden Brown. He's listed next on the depth chart, number 32. He hasn't been on the field yet, I believe, at least in the backfield. And there's Langlois on the left side. Big hole flag. That's a hold. This is coming back. So big gain. And they've already called the hold. They didn't even wait for anything. So it's coming back. And that's a shame. That was Langlois' nicest play of the night.
And that's what we saw last year out of him. This strong running, pretty quick, pretty fast, but, very strong in his effort. And he kind of just breaks through tackles right there and makes some nice runs.
Evangel is starting to run out of time. It's a 24-point game, so it's a 3-possession game with two, if you make all the 2-point conversions. And it's hovering on a 4-possession game. They need to make a stop here quick, a 3-and-out, if they're going to come back after that touchdown. And there's Langlois again, and he's got another big hole, and he picks up about, we're going to call that 6, up to about the 31. And so now we're running 1:10 left to go in the third quarter. Still a little bit of time left.
It's going to be interesting, Jeff, just to see how East Ascension, Darnell, just in guy, just how they have an open date in their schedule.
Right.
And just kind of see, if they're able to fill that in. I'm sure, you could probably get somebody that's playing a New Orleans school.
Yeah. And it could be tough because some of their games are scheduled against New Orleans schools, and you don't know. For example, Santa Maria has to play Helen Cox. Dutchtown has to play Cy Academy. You don't know the status of those schools as well.
Exactly.
22 seconds left to go, 3rd and short. And I believe the little twist and turn at the end is going to get Langlois the first down. And it does. And that's going to be the final play of the 3rd quarter, most likely. The clock has to stop as they move the chains. And you see, that's a cause for concern. Caleb Ickey's kind of limping to the sidelines. He's out of the game now. So the 3rd quarter is now over. It's 31-7. We will take a break. You're watching the Eatel High School football game of the week.
Welcome back. We've missed you. We know it's been tough. Because rebuilding your business isn't for the faint of heart. Your business needs a jump start. And we're here to help. Introducing Surge, symmetrical speed fiber internet from Eatel Business. Revved up data speeds at 30% off, plus 3 months free. We're glad you're back, and we're here to make your business surge.
And the 4th quarter ready to go, 31-7. Let's talk about real quick our games next week. Still kind of a fluid situation, but what we expect next week, we're going to have Brother Martin versus East Ascension. That is a most likely scenario kind of game. You have all the different things in motion right now. And Covington at Dutchtown, we're expecting Covington to come out here and play on Friday night. And the rest of the games until we get to district play, it's going to be hard to determine.
And Santa Maria scheduled to play John Kennedy next Saturday, and you're just not real certain right now where do the New Orleans teams stand, and not for certain if private schools, public schools, where that's going to take them next week.
Yes, you saw Jaden Brown. We were talking about him next on the depth chart. You saw him right there as he carried it on the right side for a 1-yard loss. So it's 2nd down and 11. So that's a new guy coming in the game. Also see number 81, Colin Landry. Hadn't talked a lot about him tonight. He's set up in that little trip formation on the left.
Oh, wow. Hey, you got a little trips package here.
And Pyron gets out of trouble, gets through the first wave, gets through the second wave. Now he's gone. He's to the 40, he's to the 30, breaks a tackle down to the 20. And a nice run by
very nice by
Pearson Pyron. It looked like he was trapped and was going to be sacked. Then he got through the first wave, then he got through the second wave, and next thing you know, they're in the red zone.
Good job. I like the way he's carrying that ball, too. Evangel's schedule. They're in Oklahoma next week. Seminole. Then they're coming down to Eunice. Or they're at home against St. Edmunds of Eunice. At home against Huntington, which is right there, the next door neighbor almost. At home, Woodlawn and Shreveport. A lot of people might not know that they have a Woodlawn and Shreveport.
Well, if you remember Terry Bradshaw, you do.
Yep, and Joe Ferguson.
Absolutely. My dad played against him from Terrebonne High School. He told me some stories. As Langlois carries, and you see Winfield in the game. Sean Winfield, number 13, new quarterback for Dutchtown. So they may be calling it a night for Pyron after that long run.
And you have Northwood High School, North DeSoto, which is just south of Shreveport. And then at BTW, Booker T. Washington, week 9, then open date.
2nd down and 6. And Winfield keeps it right up the middle. and the convoy ahead of him, he gets down inside the 5.
I think Winfield, when he saw this opening, he said, wow.
Yeah.
He said, this is wide open right there. And, I mean, he was just the offensive line, outstanding job, you know. You look at Will DeLone at your left tackle, and then Harms and Equipido, your left guard. Then Harms, your center. Jones, Michael Jones, your right guard. And Ethan Fields, your right tackle. And big 88 Ix, kind of that sniffer back, tight end type guy. Lead blocker, doing an outstanding job tonight, number 88.
Right. Jaden Brown on the carry gets down close to the end zone.
I really like this situation where Dutchtown changing backfields but not changing offensive lines. Give those guys that are actually varsity players a chance to run with varsity people on the offensive line.
Right. I believe that's tight end in motion and a run up the middle to go right behind the tight end, and he's in for the touchdown. And so the Griffins run right behind the tight end and get into the end zone. I believe that's Langlois.
That was nice. Langlois got behind that offensive line. You see DeLone coming off the field. Big 88 coming off the field.
Now the extra point.
Maybe 82 instead of 88.
Right. If you recall, that was Watkins, the receiver. I believe Ickes was kind of sore after a few plays a moment ago, and I don't know if he's come back in the game. The extra point is good. It's 38-7, 7:57 left to go in the fourth quarter. We will take a break. You're watching the Eatel High School football game of the week.
Welcome back. We've missed you. We know it's been tough. Because rebuilding your business isn't for the faint of heart. Your business needs a jump start. And we're here to help. Introducing Surge, symmetrical speed fiber internet from Eatel Business. Revved up data speeds at 30% off, plus 3 months free. We're glad you're back, and we're here to make your business surge.
$38-7 is our score. Dutchtown with the big lead and cruising to victory here tonight. Dutchtown, you talked about Evangel's schedule. We're going to talk about Dutchtown's schedule right after this kick. As you see, a lot of excitement out there on the track.
I tell you what, when you got 2,500 kids in school,
biggest school in the state now.
Might be a little frustration, maybe a little excitement. Let's go to the football game and enjoy ourselves.
Absolutely. And so the short return, not quite to the 20. Let's talk about Dutchtown's schedule. Of course, the whole fluid situation with they already had a bye week, week 5, or not a bye week, an open date in week 5. They have Cy Academy, and you don't know what's going to happen with that because they're one of those New Orleans schools that may or may not be up and running at that point. And then Covington, we expect them to play, but then you have the district, and that's not going to change much. Woodlawn, East Ascension, McKinley, Santa Maria, and Catholic High. And
any word on the open date?
Nothing yet. I mean, there's so many schools. It's so weird. You see a lateral and a pass downfield, wide open. Drop. Incomplete.
You might drop that in front of the visitors' bench, but not the home bench there.
Yeah, and that was a perfectly timed play as they had. He could have crawled into the end zone as Fulgham just makes the drop right there. No, as you know, Swag, I mean, you would think there's going to be a lot of cancellations, so you might think, well, there might be somebody they could pick up in that open date. But then again, all those teams that are losing games, they may not be playing because, as you know, St. Charles schools are going to be out till week 6. New Orleans schools, who knows when they're going to be back. Homa, Thibodaux, forget about that for a while. So it might be kind of hard as a flag goes down on second down. But I'm sure they may be able to finagle something where one team had to play a team from Homa and they have a cancellation, so maybe they can kind of hit it up.
And I think you should have some options there.
Yeah, and Dutchtown was able to do that at short notice last season as they had a cancellation. I believe that was when Santa Maria, I think, had COVID, and they had to find a replacement. They were able to get Ellender out of Homa. So, I mean, it's possible that you can get a team in that open date week 5, but I have not heard any word, and I've used my sources. I've talked to Guy, I've talked to Coach Shake, I've talked to everybody, and it's still an open date right now. 7:08 left to go. Second down and 15.
Evangel's done this a few times. Caught me one time, thought somebody was coming in motion. No, they're coming off the bench.
Second down, complete. It's going to be a long third down conversion right here as they pick up about
that
3 or 4.
reminded me so much of last night, Scotlandville. The only difference is when they guys caught the ball, it usually ended up in about 5 or 6 more yards after that on those short passes.
So third down and 10. Maybe after this play we can talk a little bit about what we expect in district play this year, because there's a new team that you got to look out for as well that you usually didn't have to worry about. Third down and about 8. Or make it 10. And the quarterback in trouble, dodging defenders, throws downfield, nobody's home. And that'll be incomplete, brings up a fourth down. I don't see any flags on the field, so this ought to be a punting situation.
Has Evangel punted tonight?
Don't recall much. They did punt from their 1-yard line.
Yes, they did.
I don't recall any other punts.
That's what we said, Burrell.
Yeah, Burrell.
Come get that ball, Burrell.
Yeah. I doubt that he's going to be out there for this one because they've kind of got backups on defense. And I see number 5, Caden Mackey, backup free safety. I believe he's going to get it right here. So we'll see.
I don't think you have to worry about a fake punt here because that's your kickoff guy, and he is an 8th grader, if I'm not mistaken.
And that's a bad snap, but he gets it away. Good job. That's not going to reach anybody, though. It's going to kind of just go up and bounce backwards. And the ball at the 20-something yard line with 5:11 left to go. So Dutchtown will get great field position and kind of in a situation now where the backups are going to be in and you kind of know what the outcome is going to be. So there's a flag on the play.
We got a roughing, or I think it's roughing the kicker. I don't think there's a running into the kicker.
Will they get a first down out of this? Because you're in a situation where you get the ball so deep, that would be really costly.
Yep.
And that's just kind of, you kind of tapped them.
15-yard penalty there.
Blake Bowie was the guilty party, and he just barely tapped them. And, his eyes probably got big when he saw the ball on the ground, thinking, I got a block here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not I don't consider that a rough play right there.
The big problem is that when the snap is bad.
Yeah.
If you're a defender rushing, all of a sudden your eyeballs get real big. And maybe change your point of aim.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there discussing that.
And it looks like it's going to be Evangel football. And we'll wait and see. But, we were talking about 5-5A. We talked about it last night. And you have Catholic, of course, who's always going to be a contender, and not just for like the district title, but for a state championship. Then you got the schools in Ascension Parish who are all kind of they're all very close and very similar in talent, and we're at the point right now where you don't know which team's going to finish on top in the parish because every year it's a different team. And then you got the other 2 schools, which are McKinley and Woodlawn, and usually you think, those are 2 pushovers. Well, not anymore for McKinley. I mean, not for Woodlawn, that is.
Right.
And so,
and look, I see where Madison Prep playing Woodlawn next week.
Yeah, they They're not afraid of anybody. They're trying to make the big time right now. They have an opportunity with that quarterback, and they're going to take advantage of it. Shotgun pass up for grabs, complete. And I think that was the intended receiver, but it looked like the other guy may have thought that was for him, as I believe that was Warden, who it went through his arms and then went downfield for a first down.
I'd flip a coin on this. I don't think it was going to the short guy. I think it was going to the long guy all the way.
Yeah.
Made a nice catch right there. This is this Evangel's formation here. Get a little deeper, quarterback.
And pass complete and goes out of bounds.
And I'm going to tell you, this is what I would say about Dutchtown tonight. In the secondary, about as solid as you could get as a tackler.
Yeah.
I mean, they have made a ton of solo tackles tonight.
Mm-hmm. I find some similarities between them and East Ascension. Both of them have a strong running game, good quarterback. Their receivers really need to get into the game a little bit and work on their stuff. But their defenses both are kind of strong, and they got big guys. Hard to tell right now who head to head who would win that game, I think.
Well, basically, both teams have very good running attack, very good running backs.
Absolutely.
The big difference is, and that I'm just not aware of it, is Dunn. Can he equalize Pyro's running ability with his throwing ability?
Exactly.
And I may be completely wrong here. We won a state championship a long time ago when I was coaching in North Louisiana with a great running back. Threw 21 passes the whole year. And
pressure and a sack, so it's going to be 4th and long.
So I would venture to say that Dylan Sampson, if he stays well, he could definitely lead this team. The offensive line is very sound. But the good thing they have going for them, Pyro, the fake and go. I mean, that's so important. And it's not like it's just a quarterback doing this. I mean, this is an athlete doing this. So that's going to play a very big role right there.
Yeah.
For their team. East Ascension, talent-wise, I think they have talent in a lot of places.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't touch him, at least. That's a good bounce, though.
Yes.
2:08 left to go, and this might be a situation where this is pretty much going to be it. But this Dutchtown team, their hopes are going to live and die with Sampson. But they also prove that Langlois is a good player. You talk about
no doubt.
Pyron with the run pass option, and the defense, especially the secondary, looks outstanding. So both East Ascension and Dutchtown made it to the second round of the playoffs. Dutchtown lost at Destrehan, and East Ascension lost at Acadiana. These two teams are kind of, it's going to be interesting to see what they do head to head, because it's become a big rivalry and an interesting ball game. First down, 6 yards. Let's see, that's number 32. That's Jaden Brown. As clock will continue to run, and they'll probably just run it 3 times, and that'll be it. So Dutchtown will win and move to 1-0, and we'll see them most likely Friday night versus Covington. Evangel, they're headed to Oklahoma, I believe you said, correct?
Yes.
That's one thing they did. They were one of the early teams that started that national schedule, playing teams out of state. Second down, and here's a new back, and it's fumbled in the air. It looked like a volleyball setter right there.
Might have been an interception.
I believe that was Nikias Keller.
There it is on that playback.
So Nikias Keller gets his chance and loses the football. And 1:06 left to go. So unless Evangel tries to get more points on the board, we're probably 1 or 2 plays from ball game right here.
Well, I'd be chunking that rock because
that's what they're going to do.
You got a 5-hour trip down here. Let's whatever you want to call it, get your money's worth.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can get a little better here.
So 1st and 10.
Well, you can throw a hitch to the slot receiver at the top.
And a deep pass downfield, and it's deflected and caught. That's a nice play. Good concentration by the receiver. That's Fulgham. So look at the replay. Good job by the camera guys.
Well, and, I think the quarterback got hit, which caused a little shortage in the pass.
Mm-hmm.
But nice catch after the deflection.
So it's 1st and 10 with 40 seconds left to go. The clock will run shortly. It is running now. Little confusion. They got to get a guy off the field. 12 people in there. No flag and a little lateral to the left side and no gain. And there's 17 seconds left. Hey, thanks a lot again, Swack, and I'll see you for a couple again next week.
Yes.
So
see
the timeout is
what
called.
happens this week as far as any schedule changes.
Right. So we're expecting Brother Martin, East Ascension, and Covington to Dutchtown, but that could change. But if not, then there you go. And so you see a Dutchtown student on the field, but we're not going to show that. As he does the 100-yard dash and the with an American flag.
I think Sampson could take that guy on.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen him do that a number of times.
But thanks a lot, Swack.
Jeff enjoyed it.
You got Andre on the as the director and setting up everything. Josh Nolan on the cameras. Lyle Boudreau at home, keeping us up to date on other games and who's making tackles and recovering fumbles. And Tracy Linedecker and the Ascension Parish government, thanks for coming out here as well, letting us know what's going on after the hurricane. And, of course, Jeff Pyron, he did double duty as he had some nephews, I believe, on the East Ascension side. So we talked to him last night, and then he's out here watching his son tonight. 2nd down. Incomplete. Good coverage. Nice play. I believe that's
ball game.
And 0's on the clock, and that's going to do it. So we will wrap it up. Our final score, Dutchtown 38, Evangel 7. So Dutchtown improves to 1-0, and we are done for the night, and we're done for the week. Now, there's another game tomorrow night if you want to come out here and check it out. That would be Walker at Santamah.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock to beat the LSU game. And but we're done, and we'll see you next week here at Griffin Field. So thanks a lot for everybody. I'm Jeff Porsche. Good night. You've been watching the Eatel Game of the Week.